Right, thought I'd better make a video on how to weld a cab up. So, as you saw briefly, is where I hacked it off. You know, I've hacked it off with plenty to spare. So when it comes to fold round, it will fold round and meet a piece of box section in there quite nicely. This should end up no different to the leafer one, which we still haven't finished. That basically the pictures, the video you see is about where it sits. We just haven't got around to getting around to it. We've been too busy. But no, this is now coming along nicely. It's all flat along there. So next on this side will be use the plasma cutter or the grinder or a mixture of both just to cut this off flush with the end of here. Then I can just make a plate that finish off that cap, and that's the end of that. I got to do basically all of this, but the other side, and so that you can see, you kind of see is where everywhere there's a line I've cut, in the sense everywhere there's a fold in the steel. So there is a cut up here, there's a cut on a crease here, and then all this can be folded in one. There is then another 3 cuts here. One goes where that kink is, one goes in the middle and one goes in the bottom, and that allows you to fold these round. And then all this is one, and then at the bottom here where this crease is, that's just the last cut there. The rest of them you just fold round at a nice 90-degree angle, and it then allows the back of the cab to finish up quite nicely. Yeah, then the inside you just weld up. I recommend a pair of mole grips just to help pull it in, and then just weld it up in there. And then that there is then ain't going anywhere. There's a piece of, you know, that's 50mm box section in there. That's going to be pretty strong in a rollover. That ain't going to go anywhere. Or in a side crash or any of that. That is going to be stronger than factory anyway. Yeah. So that's that really. So I got to do the same the other side, and there'll be 2 bits of box section run. I got to cut a slot out here. Yeah, I got to cut a slot out here, and then I can run a piece of box across there, and then the same at the bottoms, so that then I got somewhere to put another 2 body mounts, and then that's the general frame of the cab done. Then all I got to do is go to the steel shop and get them just to cut some steel out the exact size. Saves me having to mess around with the grinder or plasma cutter. You know, I might as well. So I'll be able to get an exact size, get it cut up to just the inside of there. So all I got to do is butt it up to here and weld it. Then the bottom can just be a simple square, and then the top will be some tapered piece of steel. And that's the cab done. Yeah, we've cut the cross member out. I've cut the cross member out. You can see there where I've had to cut it off. It's actually over here. And the whole reason I couldn't sell it was because of this nice piece at the end here. All this is all snapped off. Bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So now I'll be making a new one out of box section. I've done it before. I've got plenty of pictures. I might put them up here, I might not. The chassis itself is fine. It's just that cross member. I've removed the rear bumpers off the back. That's all good. Yeah, once that's done, I can get straight onto the body then. But for now, we'll get the cab done, and at least no more dirt, rust, or any shit can get in there, and call it good. Alright, thought I'll just show you. So obviously this is, well, that box section's only tacked in there. This is as you would cut it. Like, all this is still how I hacked it off. And yeah, thought I'll just show you. The box section is only tack welded there at the top, and there's just a few little tacks on those bits going down. That just holds the box section in the correct place. Putting it in is quite simple. All you have to do is cut it so it's short enough, and then this should just bash in, basically wedges in there quite nicely, and once it hits a dead stop, you know you're in all the way. So that's now flush at the top there, so that's all good. And at the bottom, I'm pretty sure that was the same. You just hit it, so it hits, there's a, down the back there, there's this, which runs all the way up. I'm pretty sure the box is against there. And luckily enough, good old Daihatsu, they made it so that 50mm is basically perfect, so that you can end up with a panel just like that one. Yeah, so now it'll be cut it on that line and that line, fold them over, and then I'll make sure to knock that off. That's horrible to weld. That's impossible. Cut there, and at the bottom, and then just bend it around. Also, I got to try hack that bit of that end of the sill off. Yeah, so the cab from where the wheel arch is about, I've got a tape measure actually, I can tell you how shorter it is. There you go. So from where the sill is, it's about 4 inches. Because obviously this is bent. It looks like 5, but it's bent out, so it is really only. Yeah. Anyway, so that is so actually this cab will be 4 inches shorter than the wheel arch. Give me, as you can see over there, there's a pretty big gap there. Whilst here, it's pretty. You can't really tell. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, cut that off so at least that's flush. Makes things a bit easier. Don't have to weld as big a plate in there then, which is nice. I might, if I'm lucky, be incredibly lucky. No, I will have to weld a bit of a plate because there'll be 50mm box here like the other truck, and there'll be just a little gap there. The other side's going to have a bigger plate. As you can see, it's not very healthy over there. It's all a bit ripe, but we'll get that sorted. Right, there you go. That's both sides now welded up for tonight anyway. There are now. Yeah, the sides are now welded up. All that's left now is to do the end caps either side. But that'll be done probably afterwards. That's always got to be left though for down the sides. The next step tomorrow morning will be a piece of box section along the top and a piece along the bottom. Get that all welded up, and I might even get the floor done tomorrow as well. Yeah, and then after that I think it's get the steel cut out. Yeah, for around the top it's not that difficult. What you got to do is go around with a drill. Well, you can do it with a grinder. A grinder does work. It's neater with a drill, but whatever floats your boat really. And all those brackets that the roof was bolted to, all the brackets around the sides, they're only spot welded on. Either drill the spot welds or cut them off, and then you can just weld a sheet of steel in the back, and jobs are good. And then you just do one sheet at the top and bottom. I'm going to see if I can get them to do it out of one sheet actually. I got a funny feeling one sheet is the exact height of that truck. But we will see tomorrow. So here we are now, we're cutting a piece of box section to go in the bottom, as you can see now in the video. I've had to edit a lot of it out because all you see is my backside, no one wants to see that. Here, more specifically though, we're using angle grinder to cut the side brackets off. Using a drill to drill the spot welds of the little brackets, and then using a screwdriver just to help pry them off. Got some new cobalt drill bits, absolutely marvellous, highly recommended. And yeah, just going around, getting rid of those little bits ready. I've cut the roof lining and the plastics down. You don't need to pull them off because they don't get near enough to where you're welding to melt or anything around those lines. Right, so we're just about to weld in the bulkhead. Been up to the metal shop, got them to cut it, so hopefully this sheet will just drop in and weld straight in. I might have to cut these corners off a little bit, but we'll find out when I drop it in. You can see the fold, the crease in the centre there, if it'll focus, there you go. That crease in the centre there, that's so it obviously follows that slight kink it has in the middle. And anyway, I will put the time lapse on and you'll see me weld it in. Yeah, so here we are now, putting in the bulkhead. You can see me trying to use a piece of wood to get it roughly right, height-wise, but I did end up using 2 little spot welds in the box section to actually be more important. There I'm having to cut the ends off. I forgot to cut the little corners off because it just hits the roof. When I was finished, it was ever so slightly twisted by about 5mm, maybe 4mm. It's slightly twisted, but you'll never notice it. As in, it's tilted slightly, so that ridge doesn't meet the exact same place either side of the cab, but like I say, no one's going to notice, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, so I'm just going around now, making sure I'm tack welding and welding in certain places to try limit the amount of warpage and pulling and pushing we get from welding. Yeah, and I'm just going around welding it solid. It took me an hour to do that. You don't realise it, but I know it was an hour and a half to weld it. This video you're watching was an hour and a half, but obviously time lapses make that a lot faster. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all that crap, and yeah, see you soon.